You know, I really like it when like these teams can start the day with no pressure, just like our panel. Alan already gave them the 60-40. They didn't even need to worry about it, Kyle.
Oh, yeah. Just pick one, and your job's done.
Yeah, where's my second question? Where's my second question, Alan? Gambit versus Boom. How do you feel about this draft so far? Like, the panel was pointing out a lot of, like, the negative armor, free Roshans for Gambit kind of style. But Boom, they also seem to have this very survivable and versatile lineup of their own.
Yeah, for sure. It's an interesting one. I like the AA. We saw Alliance use this yesterday twice. I think it's one of the most underrated heroes still, somehow, as there is nothing else in this game that can completely remove your ability to regenerate. However...
Would you like to have a Gander at his win rate?
What is
in
it?
This tournament?
I'm going to go with 84.6%.
That's pretty damn close. It's actually 80% out of the 10 games.
There you go.
And I think that's a big enough sample size.
Why do we always use statistics for this? Can't we just say, oh yeah, he's won 8 out of 10 games? It's better when it like.
It just sounds. It
this hero's won
badass,
66.7% of its games at this tournament, Toby.
Yeah, that doesn't.
2 out of 3.
Doesn't sound as great.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
He's won 8 out of 10 of his games. All right, that's great.
That's still in facts, not percentages. Anyway.
But come on, man, you're from America. You're from America. This is like the home of percentages. It's like it's 99% fat free.
I'll have you know, I was out yesterday, and the person I was with was very proud of me for knowing the metric system. Which I just want to give a shout out to America because you've really lowered the standards, like significantly. So if you just know basic geography and you believe the Earth is, a few billion years old instead of just 5,000, you're ahead of the game.
And round?
You're above average. Yeah, proud. God. Oh, man. Anyway, I've always liked massive minus armor as a concept. However, Boom have one of the better answers to this in that Abaddon because you're not really a target, and in addition, you shield off the initiation. So that StarLadder Riki bomb isn't as effective. I will say I like Boom's draft a bit more because I'm looking at a total lack of AoE from this Gambit draft. And if anyone's going to be the X factor, I think it'll be Shachlo. He's had a really good couple of games on his Dark Seer so far. And there's a lot of auras. I love if you can take over the Abaddon as example. It's almost always going to give you a free Vlad's as an example. To the point where I actually think FBZ might want to just avoid it.
See, I love the fact that you you actually flag. It's like, well, Gambit don't like you like the more AoEs from the Boom side of things.
I think it's just a more natural way for them to approach fights, right? You look at Gambit and their TA, Riki, StarLadder, all effectively, it's going to be tunnel vision, one target, whereas Boom then have a cleanse defensively and an initiator and the Void Spirit tiny combo. You'll have Lifestealer bomb popping out. And this Lifestealer, if he hits level 20, he has that standard armlet halberd build. You get all that plus armor that makes you a lot more effective against this minus strat. And in addition, 20% evasion at level 20. This is where it gets really hard for Gambit to take him down.
Yeah. I don't know, in some ways, I still feel Gambit more. Like, I still feel like this Iron Shell. I've seen very aggressive Ricky's just blink striking from one target to the other, and they can get that big combination, like a vac into the crush, and Witch Doctor. The amount of times I've seen that Coconut be almost his own Ravage, like it's the worst thing to try and get away from. But at least you've got Rage for the Lifestealer, so yeah, Dream may not care so much.
I mean, to be fair,
but they are 3-man creep cutting this wave at the moment on top.
I agree with you on that. The Riki is kind of the X factor, because to your point, you can just straight up kill this Ancient Apparition before he gets a spell off. And that is huge, because then you look at Boom and you think, wait, they actually don't have much damage. In fact, their AoE is relatively limited as well. So, especially considering both teams don't really have much tower pressure, maybe outside of this TA, I think it'll be a lot more about lanes and skill.
Might be a nice, long, drawn-out game. And less momentum from this mid lane, maybe that's another place to look, because GPK, a momentum-based Templar Assassin is always a great thing. And I want to see how well he goes against Mikoto. Just to see how this Void Spirit, like the panel was mentioning it as well, like how Void Spirit has really just crushed the Templar Assassin in previous series during this competition. And now GPK, he's already been hit pretty hard. He got walked back into the Remnant.
Yep. I think this is the problem people are having. It's similar to the old school, like Puck versus TA, Quap versus TA. You just don't want to be pushed under tower like we've seen here. And Void Spirit's very adept at doing this because you just push with the pulse, and you can trade hits effectively because you're not taking that physical damage. But actually turns out okay. GPK CS very well under tower.
Well, this feels like the most common thing to ever happen at 1 minute and 40 in. Actually, I like how Hyde on the bottom lane, he might even get first blood here. He tossed FNG back underneath the tier 3 tower, so FNG will sound but have it cancel before it can duration.
I will say I really like what Gambit's doing top 2, where StarLadder is just trading hits with the AA and now actually forced him to TP so that he could try and adjust Shachlo, but it's the solo XP. It's level 3 Darkseer at only 2 minutes in. This is huge because Ion Shells, if you get to 5, then you can jungle almost as efficiently as you would in the lane, but more importantly, StarLadder becomes more powerful, your pressure actually can matter, and you just straight up farm faster. You don't need gold, you just need this experience. And AA, one of the downsides, you're obviously quite ineffective at dealing with these heroes. And even if you step up a little too far, the StarLadder with a stun and a shell might just take you down.
Yep. And they're able just to chain it because they're just so damn tanky. Almost, well, roughly about 700 each on the HP. Yeah. So like, what's Life still going to do? He's not going to leave his lane and come over and do something about this. He has to stay in the lane.
Exactly.
But at least he's sustainable. Like, Lifestealer is just able to live through all of this. Because, hey, he steals the life.
Yeah, we can expect. I mean, bottom is kind of interesting because neither player is CSing very well at all. To be fair, though, there were some shenanigans with the creep waves, so it makes sense. Mid lane, pretty even. Yeah,
it's pretty much neck and neck, CS-wise. Just been a good battle back and forth, even though Mikoto.
I like that from GPK. You don't see very many level 4 melds, but you get one right away from GPK. It's really nice because Void Spirit only has that 3 armor, so very effective against the hero.
You can be really careful about getting hit by side blades too. I suppose you do still have that bottle charge. And rune control will be the next primary thing to look at. GPK, refraction charge, just come back up again. A good timing for it as the spirit just pull him in. But first blood, it's the Witch Doctor. On the bottom lane, 3 heroes together. Ancient Apparition moved down to help him out. And FNG is first blooded by FBZ.
That's interesting. I guess it's solid play, but that's one of my issues with Witch Doctor, because I feel like if you're not picking it for the lane, I don't know why you're picking it, and it doesn't seem that great in the lane. FNG, and again, like this is one of many other support heroes, that's just a kill, because you have a real stun or spell or something. Oh, and of all the runes, Mikoto grabs an invis.
He says Vampire can't do anything about that bottom lane. Avalanche coming out once again. And difficult to catch out Dream once he can get back into the tricks of the trade, but once that's over, you open up the Rikimaru, silence him up. Don't know exactly where he wants to go. He jumps up, but Ancient Apparition's going to be there and Abaddon tossed forward. So FBZ now able to get both of the kills that Boom ID have claimed in the first 4 minutes.
Love that. Really well played there. And again, FNG TP's mid. Immediately the punish comes at bottom. Bracer, straight Orb of Venom on the Abaddon. Skipping the Q just because it allows him to trade so effectively with Riki. Of all the heroes in Dota, this is by far one of the most efficient to trade with because that means he's attacking you in the face.
Double TP's coming down. Gambit want to try and defend this one. Toss. FNG needs to get that cask off. A Maledict. At least he connects it over on Hyde. Underneath the tower. Boom. If you come in a little bit too deep, Hyde, he will fall even from just the Maledict pot will do the work. But now over to FBZ. Nope. Khezcute. Either one. No. Excess Vampire. Doesn't have the strength to fight.
Up top, Shachlo will get both runes, but definitely a stronger laning phase thus far for Boom. It's going to be Shachlo that changes things, but Darkseer is one of the more complex heroes to sort of take over a game with. I wouldn't mind seeing him do something I've really only seen Zai have a lot of success with, which is that HOD build, where you have the super fast creep that you then Ion Shell and look to play with. It allows you to then apply a lot of pressure to mid. Oh, TA taking a lot of damage.
TA really just... Hyde got messed up.
Yep,
he got messed up by the meld.
Yep.
And now on bottom lane, you're going to lose as well, the Abaddon. No level 6 up on him just yet, so when that Maledict can connect, just keep the damage rolling.
I will say, I really like this. You don't see this very often from TAs. A lot of times, you'll still have them grabbing the bottle, but he's just going to go for the old school style. I used to do this back in 2015, where you get the earlier boots, a Blightstone, and a point meld. So you represent -4 armor, and you're so much stronger. So now level 6, you're like a huge threat, and you just spam mangoes and mana pots to stay in. Of course, we didn't have mangoes back in the day, so it's a little easier nowadays. But either way, I like it because it allows you to get that Blink Deso timing as fast as possible. This is something Abed used to do as well.
Mikoto really trying to stay on top of Shachlo, but Shachlo's Surge and Wall can't get him away in time. So easy rotation from a Void Spirit to bring down that Darkseer.
He still hasn't decided what he wants. 1,000 gold in the Darkseer. And this is a perfect example of what makes his hero so damn annoying, right? How many other offlaners are going to save this much gold? But you have so many items you could buy, it's just, you're never sure.
They're going on bottom lane once again, paralyzing Cast with a Maledict. FBZ just can't walk away from this one. He's still short of level 6. Hyde wants to help him out, but what's he going to do? He can toss a hero back underneath the tier 1 tower, and Excess Vampire. They can at least get a rebuttal with the help of the Ancient Apparition, but Excess Vampire, yep, there will be enough of the tick.
He bought Tranquils just before he died, though, so loses no gold. Well done. And it looks like Headdress is the move on Shachlo, so maybe the Mech Rush, but we'll see. It's never, that's like one of the safer options, but I always prefer to get some item that allows me to play offensive on Darkseer first, or increases my farming speed. Even just the casual arcanes first, so that you can constantly always spam shell off cooldown.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem like Dream is even caring that much about the Iron Shell. Like, sure, it comes in and pushes the wave back out, but he's pretty much uncontested. He's third on the net worth at the moment. The Darkseer is still down a little further than that. So while the CS looks amazing for the Darkseer, like, Lifestealer is still not being crippled.
Oh, so he could be going HOD still. I forgot it's in both items, but we'll see which one he chooses to go for. I'm all about HOD when you have 2 right clickers on your squad. Late game having a wolf creep represents like crit. Like it's 30, it's Avenge Aura for free that you can get in addition to your others.
Here we go again. But this time, Abaddon does have the level 6 and he's holding the point. Yeah, she don't have the third hero there either.
Yeah, it's the right move though. You always hold the point just in case you would die no matter what.
It's expecting the contest around the outpost. It's always that prep. We're now 2 minutes away from the 10.
Ocean Heart on the Riki. I think that's pretty cool because you're going to hop in the river at a point and just rotate around the map. Smoke coming middle with both supports. They really want Gibkiy, who's huge. My God, he's level 9. Almost level 10.
TA's been having a good time. Really unpressured. Number 1 on the net worth.
Yeah,
with a smoke gank, they got to see him and then get the toss forward.
Whoa.
Just picked up the Arcane Ring. Is there going to be some more support coming their way? The dust, okay, they have the reveal. GPK, StarLadder, moving in as quick as he can, gets a 3-man crush at GPK. He gets the refraction up. It's up there in time. Dream's also arriving, jumping into the backlines. And GPK, yes, with the bash. Ancient Apparition cannot close the distance. And boom, they were so close, they could smell it.
Wow. That was very close.
That is a way to wake up in the morning. Whoa. Living life totally on the edge and then just shields.
A lot of things had to go right there for GPK. A casual circlet, and he found the Arcane Ring for the plus armor. Otherwise, and he tread swapped sufficiently to strength as he got going on. Otherwise, he certainly dies. All the little things had to be checked. Bottom, a lot of space for Vampire now. He's going to get 6 soon. And if you're Boom, you got to make a play at some point. Yeah, you can see. Every little bit counts. Without that circlet, he dies.
And Gambit bring their numbers so fast too.
That's to be expected. This is the benefit of the Riki, right? Good TPs as well, of course, from the squad. FNG, I will say, I do like the Witch Doctor in that scenario. Counter-ganking, 3 heroes standing directly on top of each other. Then the coconut starts to shine. Bottom, you do get a rotate from Mikoto. You're going to try and push this tower with FBZ. And in response, Gambit will probably just do the exact same thing up top. And it will be an Arcanes into Pipe Rush on Shachlo. Interesting. I would, again, prefer HOD first, but, you know, teach their own. He won't get this tower tonight. Looks like, yep, FVZ will take it out. But consider Shachlo as the offlaner 2 levels above his counterpart mid, and it's the same with, or rather, on the offlane, mid is the same, 11 versus 9. Gambit, certainly with a XP lead here.
I like how Gambit are also just like that was a pretty low chance that StarLadder's charge forward was ever going to do anything, but just making Boom bring attention back to the tier 1 tower, so then on bottom lane, they can find this attack. And Abaddon, still again, as always, holding the point for borrowed time, paralyzing Cask, does not throw out. I think he just got out of range at the very end of that.
Yeah, also, by the way, GBK is a blink.
Yeah.
This is something he might look to utilize soon. Going for the Death Zone next, and already looking to see how many points he wants to put in Meld. Typically, yeah, that's what I figured. He's going to skip the level 2 trap and max Meld now before Sideblade, because you got a blink.
That's a huge stack just to be taken out. That was a double and a triple from Mikoto. even though they do need to pull up the other wave again.
He's going for that Chrysalis build instead of the Orchid. We've seen a bunch of Void Spirits do this top lane. Oh man, were you really a Maelstrom?
It's just trade-off. I don't think anyone can actually get a kill out of this combination.
I gotta say, Tobes, I am not a fan of this Maelstrom Lifestealer. You are majorly threatened by physical damage here. Armor that represents so much HP and armor, and now you're in a point where like Riki, StarLadder RT, like they can just absolutely explode you once this Deso comes up. They're gonna look to dive. They have Dust.
Yeah, they're looking for Dream. He's already been hit by the AA blast, the TA trap, Dreamocel. Taunt running himself away, maybe thinking twice about that. My God, Dream could just keep up.
See what
but
I mean?
Infest move away. Mikoto will be the delivery service to give Lifestealer time to regen. Fata still wants a piece of this. Putting up that corrosive haze. At least they see Boom retreating, but this just means a tier 1 tower will now be taken. Maybe think of it from another way, Kyle. Like what is the Maelstrom for? Like, why is he sitting there saying, like, I need to get this item? Is it just a farm increaser? Is it this, the ability to push out lanes?
Yeah, it's just comfort, right? And sure, it does increase your farming speed slightly, but, you know, I'm especially wary of it when you consider that Riki is so, like, it's TA StarLadder, right? You already know it's going to be a ton of minus armor, and this is super effective in assistance for a Riki because his ultimate Agi-based damage is also physical, so it's increased by minus armor. So it's like twice as nice to get it. And you just saw there how much damage he'll take. This is before he would be going to below 0. There's no TA factor, there's no Deso, there's no Melt Strike. It's also going to limit their ability to do Roche themselves if they don't have that armor that Deso build on the Lifestealer. In fact, I'd say Boom cannot do Roche this game at all. And Gambit's going to have the luxury of playing this with 1 or 2 Aegises for free. This is a huge edge, especially on the Radiant side. Bottom.
Ice Blast is flying down. Gibkiy this time around will not get hit by it.
150 CS at 13 minutes. That's insane.
Oh, Void Spirit. The haze is up. He can still jump away. That's exactly what he'll do, down into the river.
This is kind of crazy watching this new Gambit. I mean, FN, good player, don't get me wrong. But Gibkiy just seems like he makes this team work. And I don't know if it's because, you know, if you look at OG and maybe even Secret, it's probable perhaps it's all about the cores. Like, you just feel more comfortable playing around someone and you recognize their patterns and like their style a bit better. But I mean, this guy has been performing incredibly well so far at the tournament. He's gonna have a Deso and 300 gold. And it looks like that'll be their timing. It's
like the old school teams, just like, we always look to the mid. Like, okay, yeah, the safe lane is good, the off lane is okay, but the mid was the superstar. And this Gambit lineup, I reckon Gibkiy does fill that role.
Yeah, pipe complete on Shachlo, so they're going to have a sick timing in a few moments. StarLadder trying to finish his blink off middle. He's 700 off, but you'll have a Diffusal Riki, pipe Darkseer, and blink Deso TA all at about the same time. That's nuts. And then I think if you get this mid tower, suddenly you just start crushing through the map.
Mikoto. He's got the jump away.
Ale.
In fact, yeah, Excess Vampires could be careful around that. And there's that, yep, there's that Deso you're talking about. Pre-15.
This is insane timing.
And they're trying to contest for the bottom runes. The top will already be taken out by a Riki, but then again, Darkseer. Oh, back. Look for your target. Darkseer wall is down. Hyde getting bashed up by Excess Vampire. He's going to be surged away to safety. So difficult to keep this chase on. Not the most maneuverable lineup from Boom.
He's already got max vac. Only 3 points in the surge, so I actually kind of like this decision when you consider that if you hit an AoE vac stun with Maledict, especially when that Maledict's maxed out, that straight up just wins you the team fight. You talked about how they had plenty of single target. This way of finding adequate AoE could prove very effective, especially when we expect a big fight to break out around this mid tower in a couple of minutes or so. And here's a smoke. Maybe bottom comes first.
Yeah, they'll have to go after Lifestealer. Pretty difficult target. Infest is up and running.
Gibkiy's not here.
That is true. But they've got everybody else, and there's your jump forward. Could not get the smoke screen up in time, so Rage Lifestealer just moves back, and in fact now, as Mikoto initiates in, takes out Excess Vampire. And they really want to keep this charge going. And that's one way to deliver the Lifestealer forward. Put him into the Void Spirit.
Gotta be careful here, though. You don't know where Gibkiy is. He's going to show on top ward. Huh. It was weird play by Gambit there, but at the end of the day, like that was just a free 1,000 gold of space for GPK. You check him out, he's top of the net worth by far, and you only lose a support. I'm very worried for Khezcute in this game. I don't really think, you know, of all the one downside of the AA, right, especially, and you can see this in the StarLadder ImbaTV immediate follow-up to that first pick, is what the hell do you do if you get jumped on by Diffusal Riki, other than feed?
Die. Yep, that's it. Ooh, that's a good jump. Double damage room for the Void Spirit. Next as Vampire took 3 hits from 3 different sides and died.
Yep. And they do have the Vlads picked up on FBZ, so if he gets back walled, that'll go for free to the Radiant team. And Hyde goes down. That's a Diffusal Ion Shell Riki. Not much you can do there.
It is showing the weakness of their lineup, however. Like without the TA, you don't force a building.
Yeah, but I don't really know if they mind. GPK is just like, you know what, guys, I'm liking this. I'll just get a BKB. However, I do think they could attempt to at least think about a Roshan. Again, this mid tower, to me, this is the play you make. At least force a little pressure here. Have GPK shove top and then look to collapse inwards. Although the warding from Dire has done a really nice job of at least being able to suss out his movements. 3 wards all in this top half of the map. GPK's patterns often take him right on top of them. A Lifestealer with the Sanj. He'll have his Halberd in just a moment. This is huge, but that BKB from TA, if he gets it off first, you don't really care any longer.
He will reach that before. Well, then again, 3 men all going towards the TA. Ice Blast from downtown, and that's going to be one very dead GPK. Down for a long period of time, and now you're seeing Boom trying to force the issue. Great thing about Abaddon's great at bringing down these early towers.
I just can't believe it's Boom looking to make the first move on a tower. I felt like Gambit had this insane momentum.
They were waiting for the BKB.
But, dude, next item syndrome.
Here we go.
It's going around.
Looking for the vac wall, going to catch out 2. Able to get both the Abaddon, but then into the back lines. The Avalanche FNG copping heavy amounts of damage very early on. Excess Vampire trying to do his own little run, but the toss in, and they stay on top of Dream. Can jump himself over towards Shachlo, giving some extra information, but pulled again back by this Remnant. No way to really properly escape. Darkseer was doing everything he could to get Dream out of there. The 4 heroes lost from Gambit, and Boom have just broken the backs of the mid lane.
Did they just take a team fight straight up 4-on-5 without their top net worth hero?
Yep. TA was dead that entire time, not involved, and yeah, they thought they had it.
This is the Void Spirit factor, right? Was it Winner who was saying Mikoto somebody to watch? Look at this, just comes in on the backside, 3-man pulse, straight up crushes FNG. You're not casting ultimate here. And they just chase for more. Like, what? I'm just curious as to how this was going to work, especially when you vac wall initiate on, I believe, the Abaddon and the Lifestealer. 2 heroes you're just not going to kill. I love Darkseer against Abaddon. You get the auras, you get the passive, but yeah, you can see. That's a calm,
that's a very happy captain.
Man. Hell yeah.
A very happy captain. All right, guys, been waiting for our opportunity. Our opportunity is this. And Gambit are willing to step up to the plate and strike out.
Yeah, I think they haven't played, for lack of a better phrase, they're not playing Dota 2. They're playing a PvE farming simulator. And while that appears good, then you realize, wait, it just feels like they've squandered their timing. Roshan's still active. They've had Deso for 7 minutes.
They are at least like getting a hell of a lot of items. So for everything that happened, this is the first real swing we're seeing. Golden Experience going the way of Boom. But it was about a 2,500 gold and 4,000 experience lead going the way of Gambit. But this now, with a big fight from Boom, this is now going to mean items for them. Like, it's going to mean progression for the lifesteal. Like, he's already got the Halberd, and he's already looking towards an Assault Cuirass as his next primary item. Roshan has begun.
Watch how fast this dies.
Pretty fast.
Probably could have done this a little while ago, guys.
They're coming over. Infest up. Ice Blast is coming in. They've already found one target out. The Ice Blast! The Dream instantly explodes. Shachlo will die as well. The Aegis Immortal got to the hand to GPK. So at least he got himself out there alive with the Aegis. But it looks like Boom aren't finished just yet. Blink off cooldown in 1 second time. FNG will not escape. 3 heroes lost. And now with these 3 heroes down, maybe you just push the mid. You take the tier 2. I mean, they keep chasing. They're chasing for the TA. Blink is on cooldown for the moment. So there's your jump forward. Yule Scepter to begin with, pulling back in. Hyde's got the first bit of damage. Now for the second time around, they're going to have the ice. They've actually got the Ice Blast already back off cooldown. The BKB from GPK, that's his first 10-second BKB duration. Starts his TP out. Very smart from XS Vampire, just blinks and sprints away. He had nothing to do there at all.
Boom's just straight up outplaying him. And I know I'll give Flame that. Oh, you showed him to roast. They got owned. But Tiny has a blink dagger, Toby. He just picked it up off that fight middle. You had an advantage, a significant one. That's no longer there when this first Roche play happens at 20+ minutes instead of 13, 14 like it could have. And suddenly Boom are the ones with control. They're the team with the ability to remove regen, and they're the only team in this game with a save. They have this Abaddon, which makes it so much easier for Void Spirit and Lifestealer to play this game. Now, he talks about Lifestealer doesn't have armor items, but he'll have an AC soon.
Gambit looking for a fight again. BKB is still on cooldown for another 25 seconds. They're searching for a target, but they just can't find one. Tiny's already blinked away after breaking the first smoke.
Radiant's bottom tower.
This feels like more of a make something happen smoke than one with a declared objective.
Maybe
they're just hoping to find heroes in their jungle. It will give FNG the opportunity to de-ward, but look at this ward placed. You don't see this one. I mean, check the high ground.
Yeah, which one? You start using your words, Kyle. Sorry. Use your words.
The one.
The observer needs to hear your words, Kyle.
The one on the hill. You don't put it where the eye is. You put it to the little hill left of it, which is worse vision. But
so Radiant jungle, that hillside.
No,
not
a little.
Yeah, a little bit further
left,
down to the left.
Bottom left.
Little down to the left. There you
This
go.
one. There you
go. That one.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right there.
he knows it might be there, but didn't check. You would need a courier to suss it out. And now they're going to look to go middle. There's a Tiny here, but he's very tanky.
He's got a lifestealer right behind him too. Like you can try and go for that. But it feels like every time Boom is ready to initiate, like the Ice Blast is always on the right timing as too. Yeah. Like I never feel like I have to wait to say Ancient Apparition's Ice Blast. Like it's like you don't have time to say that entire phrase.
Crimson Guard up on the Abaddon as well. They're so tanky now. 30 armor on him. He's not really a target whatsoever. And whoa, wait, what the? Oh my goodness, they have a Shivas already on Mikoto.
Yep.
I love this build. The casual Crystallis for just the maximum damage per gold efficiency into Yulst for setup and save, and then a Shivas just to not only provide vision, even more AoE damage in the middle of a fight, but you're just not going to die any longer, especially with an Abaddon behind you. He's got 26 armor.
You know, times too, like he's been very willing, like Voice Bar, I'm going to jump right on top of 3 heroes. Yeah. Like it's not the fear of the crush, it's not the fear of the vac, which was actually, like it did put the fear into you early on. And now the crush forward, XS Vampire. Not enough information to work with there. Jumps up on the high ground, dies very quickly. And now paralyzing cast, but look towards the Abaddon. This is a borrowed time target, and look at Mikoto straight to the back line. It's a good back. Here comes your Ice Blast. Almost everyone from Gambit's going to get hit by this one. At least GPK will get his BKB off. Abaddon still has the borrowed time available. Sounds for the moment, but Boom, they just walk away from all of this. The illusions are following up. The first little crush comes in. Maybe Tricks of the Trade, Ricky can help do the damage, but again, Mikoto, FNG, so low on life. XS Vampire, they want to remove his stun, then move over towards the Ricky, they'll remove his life. Everything must go, and the Spirit, at least Shachlo can surge, run away from all of it.
They're straight out outplaying him, Toby. Like, and Gambit, it's a kind of a meme. I used to have my team, and even players on other teams repeat. When you play against StarLadder, you buy armor. You do this, and all of a sudden it feels like you just kind of win the game because XS Vampire, even with the buyback, like he goes in and he dies. He goes in and he dies, and there's no real burst potential. TA is getting those 3-4 hits off on an amp target, but you're opening on an Abaddon with your stun Maledict. FNG is immediately forced out of the fight. This is not something you can actually do, and now over destruction. Perhaps this will change things for GPK, but they're getting raxed.
Yep, and they don't have Darkseer ultimate. They've got a big Ice Blast flying forward. That one's going to connect over on Shachlo, so...
Dude, Mikoto Void Spirit, I think this might just have to be a ban.
You mean just the Void Spirit in general, or just because of him? Like, it feels like he's got a good hero pool.
I mean, I've seen Voids crush games when they rush the Orchid, but I feel like that's a lot more simplistic. It's like, hey, I got him, he's silenced, can't move, I killed him. I've never seen someone play this smooth with the crit into Yul's build, which just, it's one of those builds, it's like not your perfect game, you will probably want to get the Orchid, but this is one of more of a competitive styles, I guess I'll say. Either way, I think he's just played very well in terms of his positioning and finding the right targets. AC now complete on Dreamocel. They're just going to look to just push top and neither one of their big cores has even died this game.
See the way GPK is going to try and deal with this. He's got Rapier queued up, buys the Demon Edge.
Yeah, it's necessary.
He now just needs the 1,600 gold to finish.
You also know you're playing against level 20 Lifestealer.
You also know you're playing against an aggressive Boom. They're coming out to fight once again. That's a level 10 StarLadder. He does not want to be near that level 19 Void Spirit.
There is 39% evasion on the Lifestealer right now. He is not targetable.
They're getting the hell out of here, Gambit. And rightly so.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're buying time. I think GPK actually, he just TP'd to the bottom lane, so it'll take him another, just over a minute before he can TP back towards the top.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
But he can farm up inside the jungle, get that last little bit of cash to pick up the Rapier, and then it's all YOLO from there.
It's the right move, because if you don't dramatically change the status quo of these team fights, you're going to just straight up lose. Your SlarDar, unfortunately, with no buyback and literally just blink Tranquil Windlace is a glorified armor minus creep. And you need to be able to just blow somebody up, like straight off.
Oh, they found a target. Goodbye, Access Vampire. That's now his 7th death of the game.
On the bright side, he's only got a 30-second respawn.
That is
no buyback, no problem.
That is an upside. And on the other upside, GPK is about to pick up his Rapier. Blinks up. There she is.
Let's do it. 27 minutes in, this has got to be fast.
He can't TP back for 10 seconds, though. He actually has to wait it out. But they have fortification. This will at least slow down Boom, but it won't stop him.
And both supports have Ghost Scepters. He's got to pop them before they get it off, or they're just going to survive and start stunning him, and then turn for a core.
That's going to have to be a very quick pop back. Wall catching out too. Ice Blast is flying forward. GPK is going to get hit by this one. And man, Excess Vampire dead already. The rookie, he can't stand these fights either. Sitting back at his tier 4 towers. GPK's BKB is going to wear off. Almost got the toss back on him. Instead they find the Witch Doctor. And GPK pull back in for the Remnant. You're sceptered up. Let the Lotus Orb do its work as man, he is dead and that's game. He's going to drop the Rapier. And they are not getting that one back. It's in the hands of the Lifestealer in game 1. Boom ID. You said it multiple times already throughout this game. It just feels like they have outplayed in game 1 Gambit.
Yep, it just comes down to timings, right? And this is something that is just straight up not debatable. You talk to players on Nigma, on Secret, on OG, they'll discuss not how farmed you are, but what timing are you looking for. I see what Gambit is going for, but they didn't use it. From 13 to 20 minutes, they played a game incredibly passively. Blink SOTA, let's go. Get the mid tower. Start looking for Roche plays. They just sat on their heels. Boom, take a couple advantageous team fights. They run away with the game. And you notice, once they got an edge, what did they do? They pressed it. They're raxing at 25. This is something you're going to have to replicate if you want to win this series. Like, boom, man, look at them. They're feeling themselves. And they didn't look so hot on day 1, but now that we've hit day 3, we're in the playoff bracket. They've certainly found a new level, turned it up today.
Yeah, I'd like to see what would happen with Gambit if they're able to have... Maybe you look towards like Shachlo, maybe you look towards the Darkseer pickup and say, like, what would have happened if you had that great start from GPK, which he did have. Like, the TA was still looking very, very good, but you had a more active hero than just like, I'm going to get pipe, I'm going to, like, I have a vac wall. Like, there was one moment where it did work with the SlarDar and you could understand the concept behind it.
Yeah.
But after then, like, where's the influence? Where's the ability to actually stand and fight with them?
If your most farmed hero is just farming his next item, your second most farmed hero, Shachlo, with the best early game, goes for a purely defensive item, and your other hero is a Riki that sort of needs to play around what's happening on the map. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And yeah, I feel like this is one of those games you go over with your coach after the day ends. You're just like, God, man, we could have done a lot of stuff better here. So maybe think about that. Approach game 2 and see if you can do it.
Forget game 1. You can break down game 1 later on. Focus on game 2 because that's what they need to do if they want to have a chance to keep this game fighting, this series fighting, get to a game 3. Gambit, what have you got for game 2? We'll find out after the break.